Okay, so good day everyone, no. Our topic is about system thinking, no. Very interesting and especially when it comes to business, no. Because system testing is a holistic approach to analyzing complex situation and issues by understanding the interconnections, no, patterns and interactions among various components within a system, no. So rather than focusing on individual elements in isolation, this system thinking emphasizes how parts work together within a large whole, no, or a larger whole. So it aims to provide insights into how system functions over time and how changes in one part of a system may affect others, no. So looking at a system as an integrated entity, this approach helps, no, in identifying root cause and predicting potential outcomes of a certain actions or policies. And to give us more details about the topic, let us all welcome our presenter. Go ahead, sir.
All right, good morning again, Doc, and good morning, classmate. Again, there are two parts of this topic, which is system thinking and then yung process optimization. So yeah, first, let's define systems thinking. So systems thinking is a holistic approach to analyzing how parts of a system interact with each other within a whole. So if we relate this in the production and operations management, this means understanding how different departments, processes, and resources affect each other, and then the overall objectives of the organization. So, yun nga. So, for example, sa isang department ng company, so there are different functions, whether you're in finance, in marketing, procurement, and also in operations like in manufacturing. So they have a different functions and they are correlated to each other. So ito, sa systems thinking, uh, it defines the functions and how the work process. So let's say in sales or marketing, so how many employees they have? So they have, let's say, a sales staff, they have sales manager, and they have the secretary or admin. Ganun din sa ibang department. They have different position and different function per each department. So they also need to compute the heads or number of employees per each department and how they collaborate or interact in the top management and organization. So here are the samples of systems thinking. Yung nga yung sinabi ni Doc, first is holistic view of production systems. So instead of viewing departments like procurement or logistics as separate units, systems thinking encourage managers to see the functions as interconnected parts of a single system. So, yun nga, for example, sa procurement department, if may delay sa trabaho nila or sa task ng department, it may cripple or magiging pilay ang production schedules and it may affect the delivery timeline ng mga product or produkto. So, let's say sa manufacturing. So, kapag may delay dyan sa isang department, most likely ganun din or magiging domino effect sila sa partner nila or sa sunod na department. So again, for example, in terms of marketing proposal, if the finance department was not agreed to the proposed budget, there is a possibility na may delay yung target timeline nila. Or let's say sa mga offices or mga government offices, if wala yung mga approver or signatory, minsan may delay yung mga proseso or you need to go back again. So parang ganun lang yung approach niya. So if there's a delay or if there's na approver na not available or yung department may delay, so magiging domino effect uh, yung result. So number two, feedback loops and dependencies. System thinking identifies positive and negative feedback loops. For instance, in production, a delay in one process might create a bottleneck that slows downstream processes. Recognizing and optimizing these feedback loops helps improve system resilience. So it's like a related to the holistic view in the first example, but this sample also directly to the employee's process. So sa isang proseso, may delayed sa work nila. Uh, of course, ang number one na makakalam dyan is yung the specific department na involved sa delay. So, yun nga. So they need to know the reason of the delay. So like in our job, so ito naman is related to sa mga employee. So let's say in our company, the company is always open for feedback and sharing of thought. So aside sa mga town hall meeting na nagaganap every quarter, so ang management laging may sa amin, for example, sa work ko, laging may mga pa-anonymous survey. So, if may suggestion ka or yung employee, whether positive or negative, at hindi mo ma-share yan sa mga town hall meeting, pwede mo siya i-share through survey. So, most likely the management is also aware sa mga nangyayari sa department and ang mga empleyado. So, ganun siya nag-work in terms of feedback loops and dependencies. So, number three, dynamic complexity. So production system are complex due to numerous moving parts and unpredictable changes such as market demand, shifts or supply chain disruptions. System thinking helps managers anticipate these dynamics and adapt to change more effectively. So we all know that change is constant in every aspect, whether we like it or not, regardless of reason, of any reason, system thinking. So they have the managers like some, for example, sa mga businesses nila, they have their consultant ng company. So they also need to anticipate and forecast for any changes happen. So if change, let's say yung if change of price, yan due to inflation or updating of process or systems to improve the company process. So ito, dynamic complexity na tinatawag, there's need to adapt the changes effectively. So they need to anticipate that lalo na sa mga company, sa mga manufacturing. So they have kumbaga ito yung plan B nila. Ayun. So number four, sustainable and long-term decision making. So unlike isolated optimization, which may focus on short-term gains, system thinkings encourages long-term and sustainable improvements by considering the broader impact of decisions on the entire system. So, ito naman, sustainable and long-term decision making, this sample is referring to the long-term goal of the company or the management. So, the managers or the CEO will create an improvement ng isang department or the entire organization, or he or she should consider the impact of the entire changes on entire system based sa decision niya. So let's say for example, sa atin dito sa Philippines, like Philippine setup, very common sa ating itong mga ganitong senaryo. Whether may regodon na mangyayari or may iba yung workload, madadagdagan or madadagdagan yung trabaho, sometimes it causes of course, it affects the retentions of the employee, but the entire organization must be, let's say, the entire organization must be benefit to the improvements of the decision. So parang ganun siya na mag-work. So, yun nga, the decision making should be aware yung mga tao and ano yung magiging benefit nito sa organization. So next slide is the three kinds of thinking process. So there are three kinds of thinking process. Like the scientific method, if we can relate this to science, yeah, mga scientific method. So we should analyze the series or the sequence of the process in terms of changes. So ito, for example, problem prototype. So it involves strategic thinking, intuition, or systems thinking. So diyan papasok like yung mga pag may changes, of course, bago nila gawin yung or implement this. So nagkaroon sila ng process like observation of the steps. So they also need yun nga yung ask questions to the employee, feedback and improvement to their work. So you can also create a strategic thinking and then gather data before the so this is for the first step. So gather data, strategic thinking. So number two is process of thought. Dito naman papasok yung analysis and then yeah, analysis of essence like yung determine if the changes or result is needed or it's actually accurate. So parang ganun yung process of thought niya. And of course, the solution. So diyan papasok yung rearrangement of elements and then draw conclusions, experiment, or they have the trial period, the dry run of implementation. So dito rin papasok yung communication results if the process are like is actually helpful and the findings are accurate.
Gusto rin maabot, kay sige. Kalitan ko na lang po.
Next slide. Ito naman tayo kay process optimization, the second part. So, process optimization aims to make workflows and procedures as efficient, cost-effective, and adaptable as possible. So, again, if we're gonna relate this to operations management, in advanced production and operations management process, optimization is essential, okay, or needed to maintain and competitive advantage and operational efficiency. So ito naman, si process optimization will determine the competitive advantage of operational efficiency ng isang management. So si process optimization daw can identify the essential parts and unnecessary functions ng organization. So they actually need to determine yung essential or maybe yung hindi na kailangan or hindi naman importante sa function ng isang process of business or yeah, organization. So here are the samples of process optimization. Number one, continuous improvement techniques. So ito parang very common to. Lean manufacturing focus on reducing waste such as excessive inventory or production time and improving value-added activities. So ito, si lean manufacturing, in this tool or system, they can easily identify the excess inventory. They can easily identify the excess inventory sa isang production. So it actually saved the time and additional task na employee by monitoring the activities. Yun na lang yung gagawin nila if you're working with a system or tools. So the employee is just monitoring the activities and also to improve the turnaround time of the production or ng production nila. Next, Six Sigma uses data in a statistical method to reduce variation and improve quality. So ito naman Sigma, sorry, the tool of identify the numbers and of course para ma-improve pa yung quality ng product and process. So like in BPO setup, so if you have experience working in BPO setup, itong Six Sigma and then yung itong particular tool na to, this is very common sa mga BPO setup based on my experience before. So they have the Six Sigma tool to identify yung number of calls anticipating per day. So they already forecasted that and how many people or staff should present on that particular day to fulfill the queries of the customer. Kumbaga, alam na nila kahit predictable na or predicted na nila kung ilan yung papasok na number of calls based sa forecasted na report nila. So also of course, kapag alam mo yung Six Sigma, they already forecasted then kung if you're in a BPO setup, for example, based on my experience before, most likely yung mga breaks nila like lunch and breaks namin, usually hindi yan sabay-sabay eh. Kasi of course, to fulfill the number of calls na papasok and yung time frame ng every call na concern. So parang ganun. So next is theory of constraints. So ito naman is identifies and addresses the bottleneck constraint that limits a system performance. So in this tool or system can in terms of process optimization, ina-identify naman kung alin yung dapat let's say i-limit or higpitan na task and what improvement and limitations ng process. Kung saan dapat magpo-focus, let's say for example sa amin right now, since I'm working from home lang, so sa amin we have the update or added tools. May mga ganun sa aming added na additional skills or additional tools na kailangan mong i-process. So itong added tools na yun, right now nadidelay yung work namin and time kasi hindi pa established yung system. So parang ganun. So it limits our work, and also they created this particular system so para naman ma-reduce, so of course in the future para daw ma-reduce yung mga unnecessary tasks na hindi naman importante. Parang ganun. So next is use of advanced technologies. So AI or artificial intelligence and machine learning. So these technologies enable predictive analytics to anticipate demand, optimize inventory levels, and detect inefficiencies in real time. So itong tools naman na yun ay sabi is help to analyze and anticipate the demand daw in terms of inventory, and then of course adjustment in real time or on the same time. Kumbaga, nakaprogram na siya. So let's say in a simple way is yung, for example, if you're working in an Excel, if there's an actual format and formula na ginagawa, you can easily identify the numbers and you can adjust that easily. Parang ganyan. If it's already forecasted, so parang sa BPO, they have the tawag namin dyan before is workforce management. So they have the forecast, but they can adjust that depends on the workload. So let's say sa kanila, since they have the formula, they have the format, kunwari may absent or may mga maraming absent. So of course, they will adjust the forecasting to fulfill the number of calls anticipating. Parang ganun. Next is Internet of Things. In manufacturing, IoT device help monitor machinery, predict maintenance needs, and optimize production schedule. So ito naman, like in Six Sigma nga na tinatawag, pag sa manufacturing mo naman to nirelate, for example, since already forecasted, si tools or si system, siya na bahala. Okay, sa job, ang kailangan na lang is the employee to monitoring and analyzing the result. So, yun na nga, ma-check na nila yung production, the schedule, the time frame because of these particular tools. So, malalaman nila yung mga number of production per day, yung target, and also the delivery time frame. Kasi they already expected these numbers. Number 3, process automation. So automating repetitive tasks help reduce errors and accelerate production cycles. Robotic process automation or RPA in autonomous manufacturing robots are example of automation in production. So it likes parang ano siya, quality analyzing tool siya that can help or to double check the repetitive tasks. Ito yung repetitive tasks to help reduce errors and increase the production cycles. So usually, gumagawa nito is before, since uso na nga itong mga automation, so parang it reduce the number of people na magtatrabaho. So before, ang gumagawa ng mga process automation or yung mga quality check is employee or tao talaga. But now, since technology is way like improving and changes faster or change faster, siguro uh, ito yung mga napapanood ko lang sa news, like sa abroad, na due to process automation, like yun nga, sa BPO industry ngayon, malaki yung impact nito sa mga process automation. So sa BPO industry, most likely, in terms of customer service, kasi automation can do the job as well. So they have the AI, they have the machinery and technology. So yun. So they need to create a program or task lang so to limit the number of employees. Parang ganun. So number 4, data-driven decision making. So, yun nga, collecting and analyzing data helps identify patterns, make accurate forecasts, and continually optimize processes. Real-time data from the production floor can highlight inefficiencies that may not be obvious. Ito naman kay data-driven decision making. So, in this process of optimi optimization, by the help of the tools and technology, yun nga, in terms of forecasting, they can easily forecasted and identify the results and pattern efficiently and provide the real-time result or data. So of course, by clicking and typing the numbers in the system or the tool format, you have already the answer and summary of the data. Ganun. So if you're making a report, if you need to send a monthly report or day-to-day report, if you have the format, so you can also identify the real-time numbers. Yan. Next is what are the challenges and limitations of of system thinking and process optimization? So number 1, complexity in implementations. System thinking require a deep understanding of interdependencies, which can be challenging in complex organization. So ito, this is a crucial and challenging situation in the organization. So there are so many factors like in terms of automation, sometimes it's harder to follow. So andyan yung of course yung you need to have a training. So you have like under nito yung like tinatawag na code structure and design, may mga modification pang need i-adjust since the trial is actually bago lang. So ito in-automate nila from paper for example, puro papel ngayon they already automated that. So there's a big adjustment lalo na sa mga employees. So of course, papasok diyan yung some error handling, so possible errors in the system, and requires thoughtful handling of all possible conditions like yun nga, modifications, adjustment, yan, in terms of program. Number 2, this is very common, cultural shift. Many companies focus on department level success rather than cross-functional optimization. Embracing thinking requires a cultural shift. So it requires an adjustment mostly sa mga employees na hindi naman ganun ka-techy. So it requires training and practices para sa mga empleyado. So mostly ito sa mga government offices before. If you notice na the difference before, puro papel, and yung mga pagdadaanan to get a particular document, sobrang may mga steps pa. So I believe ngayon medyo pina-shorten lang nila yung steps and process. So yun nga, I remember sa PSA before, yung NSO pa, before kailangan mo pumunta sa mga mismong head office, But now they have the satellites, offices, and pina-improve pa nila yung mga system at proseso nila. Compare ngayon kasi if you are getting a documents like your birth certificate, so pupunta ka pa, yun nga, mismo NSO, sa Diliman, like ngayon, meron na sa mga city hall or satellite offices. So you can request a birth certificate also through online. Online na lang, minsan through online payment also. And then, though it's more costly online, but the convenient of your time and effort is lesser na lang. Diba? So, parang ganun lang din. Like sa inyo ba, Ma'am Ana, ganun din ba yung, yan, sige po.
Oo.
Pa-
Yes,
Since
thank you,
automated na
Joel.
po.
Oo.
Opo.
Share ko lang rin kasi nabanggit mo rin nga yung sa mga government offices. Like sa BIR nga, pero yung sinasabi mong mas magastos, parang palagay ko nga sa sa part ng taxpayers, parang bawas gastos nga sa kanila dahil ah, walang pamasahe, hindi na sila magmimerienda, kailangan lang nila mag-online. Tapos sa katulad nga nung sa BIR, meron na kaming file at tapos and pay anywhere. Kumbaga, nasa bahay ka lang, mag-internet ka lang, pwede ka na mag-file at mag-pay ka through GCash, through banks na online. Yon. Tapos pwede ka na rin mag-register online na hindi mo na kailangan umalis sa bahay. So, yon, addition ko lang din sa mga sinasabi mo. Sa BIR, talagang pinapractice na namin yon as mas ina-encourage namin yung mga taxpayers na gawin sila online. Para rin
Ah,
maiwasan nga yung yung dami ng tao sa mga offices, lalo na nung time ng pandemic, 'di ba? Iniiwasan natin yung magkaroon ng masyadong madaming tao. Yun. So, pero yun nga, sinasabi nga natin na malaki rin challenge yun dun para sa mga tao kasi syempre yung iba naman diyan karaniwan hindi naman techie kumbaga so talagang kailangan din talaga nila mag-aral. Yun nga yung cultural shift na tinasabi natin. Yun.
okay po yun.
Addition ko lang sa sinabi mo.
Yeah.
Salamat.
Thank you po, ma'am. Na yun, napakagandang example. So ito, siguro ma'am, it's costly sa part ng organization, like let's say sa government, no? Kasi they
Oo,
need to create a
yun.
program. Doon
Yes.
costly yung doon magastos kasi
Oo,
of
kasi
course kukuha ka ng
napakamahal.
developer program.
Napakamahal. Pero sa part naman ng tao, sa taxpayer, sa mga
Hmm.
stakeholders natin, bawas sila sa gastos.
Ayun, sa atin magbe-benefit po tayo, ma'am. Ayun, thank you po again, Miss Ana. So, and the last one is resource investment. So ito, advanced technologies and continuous training are often needed for successful process optimization, which can be costly. Yun nga po. So alam naman natin, from the program pa lang and implementation ng specific system or tools, napakamahal na yan. So of course, from the developer of the program, yung maintenance ng system, and yeah, you need to have like an IT department, uh, and also the training of employees. So napakalaking investment niyan sa part ng organization or company or mga government agencies. So para ma-master yung particular process o optimization, kaya kaya most likely sa mga private agencies or private company. So if you master to navigate a specific tools, napakalaking bagay niyan lalo na pag alam mo na yung proseso and yung handling. So sometimes sa mga BPO, usong-uso yung mga ganyan eh. They have the specific tools or system na kapag alam mo, so yan, minsan ganun yung qualifications nila eh. So if you have some knowledge or familiarization sa mga, let's say, of course, sa mga banking system, sa BPO, yung mga those programs, etc. If gusto nila, sometimes yung qualification nila, gusto nila yung na-expose or familiar ka sa required tools or you know how to navigate, to simple, a basic navigation, parang ganun. So, yun. Ayun lang po. Thank you po, classmate, and doc, for listening.
Thank you so much, no, for a well comprehensive discussions, no. Again, one of the core principle of system thinking based on our presenter is feedback loops, which refers to the processes through which a system's outputs can impact its inputs, no, creating either reinforcing or balancing cycles, no. For example, no, in an organization setting, no, positive feedback might lead to growth, no, while negative feedback can create limits or balance, no, in operation. So another essential concept is leverage points, no, areas within a system where small changes can lead to significant impacts, no. So recognizing these points enables decision makers to implement targeted interventions that can yield, no, substantial improvements without extensive alterations across the system. So it is clearly, no, that system thinking is particularly useful, no, for tackling complex, no, real world problems such as environmental issues, organizational challenges, or social dynamics where multiple factors, no, interact in open in unpredictable ways, no. It promotes a deeper understanding by encouraging us to see beyond, no, immediate symptoms and consider the system's structure, history, and underlying relationships. So it fosters a mindset of continuous learning and adaptation. As a system are dynamic and often required flexible strategies that evolve in response to changing conditions. Ano? So I think that's it.